Right, it's an absolutely beautiful morning and we've got quite a cool video for you guys today. I'm back at a farm slash factory where I did a pest control job a few months ago, shooting doves for a restaurant. Collected doves. I think we shot with the Air Arms TDR, shot a whole lot of doves, collected them up and sold them to a restaurant. We're back at the same spot, but today we're doing purely a pest control job. We're going to be starting off shooting a whole bunch of sparrows that are kind of nesting in the machinery. They're causing machinery to seize up. They're a complete fire hazard. If those nests catch on fire, then the whole place is going to burn down. So got to get rid of as many sparrows as possible, and then a little bit later, when the day starts to move on and we're happy with the amount of sparrows we've shot, we're going to change tactics a bit and start going after some of the doves and pigeons. The doves and pigeons are a pest here, but the nice thing about the doves and pigeons is that because this is a rural area and they feed purely on corn, they're very healthy birds. They're not like dirty city pigeons, so we can actually collect them up and eat them. We're going to take them home, either sell them to a restaurant or take them home and make a whole bunch of pies, which will be great. So I can even see some doves flying in here now, which is great. We're going to go after the sparrows first. We're going to be using one of my all-time favorite rifles. It's currently in joint first place in my favorite rifles list, along with the FX Impact. It's the FX Royale, and the reason I love this gun is because it's the first gun I've had that is extremely efficient, extremely accurate, just in terms of technology that's in it, up there with the top guns in the world like the Impact, but it's also extremely beautiful and extremely comfortable to hold. I'm just absolutely loving this thing. It's very light with this carbon fiber bottle, triggers absolutely spot on, and I've got the Hawk Frontier, which is currently probably my best scope that I have at the moment. So it's a really good combination. Let's see what we can do.
Alright, so these are the little buggers that we'll be shooting today. They look cute and fluffy, but don't be fooled. They cause massive problems. As I mentioned, they nest in the machinery. They're a fire hazard, and being a food processing plant, this place cannot afford to have any droppings being deposited all around the land. So they need to go, and thankfully I have the rifle to do the job today. Just get the crosshairs on the animal, pull the trigger, and he goes straight down. I've got a lot of shots to show you today, so we're going to move through these fairly quickly. A few things to note: the scope is set at 10 times magnification for all these shots. The camera is filming at 120 frames per second as opposed to the usual 240 frames a second. I just wanted to get some better image quality because these birds are so small. And when I take these shots, I want you to notice how little recoil there is with this rifle. This particular gun is shooting at about 35 or 36 foot-pounds. It's shooting at really high power. I thought when I first got the gun that the highest power setting would be too powerful for the pellets to stabilize. But if you look at the next clip here, shooting into a puddle, you'll see that these pellets are completely stable. This puddle's at about 60 meters and it just flies completely straight, not a hint of a wobble, which is great. And don't worry about this huge explosion that you see in the background. The steel in the background is so thick, the pellet does absolutely nothing to the steel. The explosion you're seeing is basically just powdered corn that sticks to the metal after the rain. It sticks to the metal, and when you shoot here and the pellet hits the background, that powder just comes loose. Now this one is really cool. You'll see all these sparrows lined up. I had time to kind of choose which one I wanted to take a shot at. He turns away, but I just keep the crosshairs on that same one instead of switching targets, and I peg him right in the back. Now 2 of them fly away, but there's one that's still sitting there, or rather 2 that are still sitting there. So I just line up on the next one, take the shot, and she goes straight down. At this point the other one flies off, but I notice a pigeon sitting on top, and as I mentioned earlier, the pigeons are also pests here. So I line up on the pigeon, and I'm gonna go for a heart shot over here, but at the last moment I changed my mind. This gun is shooting so accurately, and I trust that it can put the pellet exactly where I want it to go, so I decided to go for the headshot, and I absolutely smash it.
Right, I don't know how well you can see from the scope cam footage, but when we shoot these sparrows, we've got to be extremely quick. they're full of energy, which means they're jumping around all the time. You don't really have time to focus the scope cam, get it zoomed in, get everything perfect, load up a pellet and take the shot. You've got to be set up before the Sparrow lands. You've got to anticipate where it's going to land, and then as soon as it comes in, you've got to take your shot. So it is quite difficult, but in that one sequence there I managed to get a few in one shot, including that pigeon. I went for that headshot because I trust this gun, trust it can do the job. Yeah, happy with that. Let's keep going.
Now there are many other species of birds also nesting in the equipment, also causing similar problems, but there are very few of them, and many of these other species are actually protected, so we can't just go out and blast anything. It's only the sparrows and the doves and the pigeons that we want to get rid of. These other species of birds we basically leave well alone. And there were some of them that did get away. This one was sitting nice and still, but I think she saw me lining up on her and she was out of there. So you do have to be quick. Now I was quick enough on this one, just lined up on him, pulled the trigger, and he does not know what's hit him. I would say that most of these shots were taken between 25 and 40 meters. There were only one or two that were further than that, and at 25 to 40 meters you can basically aim pretty much dead on with this rifle, and they're going to go straight down without any issues.
Right, we're having a great time so far. We're absolutely smashing these sparrows. Unfortunately cannot really film too much towards the factory area because it is a secret location. I don't want to kind of give away what the place looks like, so I can only film this way. But yeah, it's going great so far. Got a whole lot of sparrows down. I'll say we probably shoot about 5 more, and then start on the doves. There's a lot of doves landing here in these bushes around me, so it should be good.
Now, believe it or not, I only had one miss on the sparrows the entire day. I suppose that's a testament to the accuracy of the rifle, but I don't really know what happened on this shot. This was the miss. I thought I had the crosshairs right on him, but pulled the trigger and it seems the pellet drifted off a little bit to the left, which is a bit confusing because it looked very stable to me, but I don't know, maybe I pulled it. No worries though, we spot on again with the next shot. Now, one of the things that makes these birds so hard to shoot is that they are really just full of energy. They hop around all the time, and especially when you're shooting with a scope cam, it can be very difficult to line up on them, get in focus when they keep moving. This one's hopping around, but I follow him for quite some time. I'm quite persistent, and as soon as he gives me an opportunity with a clean shot with nothing in the way, I take it, and I think I get him right in the neck. After about an hour of shooting, you get to understand their behavior quite well. So you know where they're going to perch. You can set up for each specific spot, and the moment they land, you know exactly where your hold's got to be, and you can just take the shot very quickly. These next two shots are both really good neck shots. You can see that this bird isn't really pushed back much. You just see his head kind of shake around as you take the shot. The pellet goes straight through the neck. And this next one as well, straight through the neck. It's a perfect shot, and he doesn't move an inch. Here's one sitting right on this barbed wire fence. I line up on his chest. I've got some time to get nice and steady, pull the trigger, and again, it's straight through the chest.
Okay, I think the Royale and I have done our job on the sparrows now, so let's switch to the doves now, shall we? These doves that we're shooting are called red-eyed turtle doves. I've done a whole lot of videos shooting them in past videos. And the cool thing is that in South Africa, each person is allowed to shoot unlimited numbers of these birds every day. There's no bag limit, and the season runs all the way from January to December, basically the entire year. So yeah, so it's one of those animals that you can go out, you can shoot anywhere. A lot of places they're pest, which is great. It means that people don't have problems with us shooting them. It's also very tasty and no bag limit. So let's get going. Let's shoot some of these birds.
So here's the first dove I line up on, and it's a miss. I'm holding for quite a strong wind from the left, or at least I thought it was quite a strong wind. I hold about half a mil just off his right shoulder, but the pellet passes just off to the side of him. So set up again. This time I hold dead on, about a mil dot holdover, and I knock him straight down.
Yeah, I just read the wind wrong there. Got it totally wrong. I definitely feel a wind kind of from my left hand side here, and the bird is about 55 meters away. So I hold about a mil dot over, maybe a little bit less than that, and took the shot. But first shot, the pellet went off to the left hand side. Thankfully this gun is quiet enough to not scare them away, so just took another shot without holding for any wind and nailed him. So very happy with that. Let's keep going.
The doves like to kind of stay within the bushes. In the previous video I mentioned that these doves in Afrikaans are called bosduwe, which basically means bush doves. They really like the thick stuff, so a lot of these shots are from really close. You can see the crosshairs aren't even focused with this shot. So a good shot, you go straight down. But this next one, I completely messed it up. I think what happens here is that the trigger is so light, much lighter than the impact. I've just got used to the impact trigger, and I just squeeze this trigger off way too early, and it just passes to the side of his neck.
Right, I'm still seeing plenty of doves landing around here, but the wind's starting to pick up now, starting to make things a little bit difficult. You obviously are having to take shots quite quickly with these doves because they land. You've got a few seconds to actually set up, take the shot before they see you, and then they're gone. It's not enough time to do a wind calculation every single time, so we're keeping it quite close today. If this wind keeps on like this, we're probably just going to take 1 or 2 more shots and then call it a day. We've got a decent amount of birds, so I'm very happy with that.
There's a slight lull in the wind for about 5 minutes, so I make the most of the opportunity and take shots at 2 different doves, both sitting high up on the top of the factory. First one goes straight down, line up on the second one a little bit closer, and it's another good shot. And that's where we're going to end this one, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to be planning to come back to the same spot a few times in the future. I think there's a lot of good shooting opportunities here. Hopefully I'll get that all on camera. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you then.